Warning, warning. This is a global ice out. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing the left speaker. Left. Sound successfully recovered. Swan Commander. Connected. And now, the countdown has begun. And now, are you ready for a journey that goes beyond the norms? The Federal Prospects Hockey League just celebrated its 15th anniversary. With a footprint and fan base rapidly expanding, Swan Hockey is now bringing you behind the scenes. Beyond what you see at games. Beyond the arenas. Beyond the crowds. This is FPHL, Beyond the Glass.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the final episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass, the official podcast of the Federal Prospects Hockey League. I'm your host, Eric Swanwick, Swan Commander on social media. Another season in the books. We have a champion. Binghamton Black Bears have three-peated. This episode, we are going to be joined by Binghamton Black Bears head coach Brant Sherwood. We're also going to be joined by AJ Galante, the general manager of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. AJ's been on board for the whole playoff series, so we're gonna talk to AJ, and then we're gonna head over to Brant. Let's get into it. And we are wrapping up the season. We got Danbury Hat-Tricks general manager AJ Galante back, who's been with us throughout the entire playoff series. He's bringing it home with us. AJ, we got our three-peat. What's going on?
They saved me, man. You know, like I said, going back about a month ago, you know, whenever playoffs started, I had my big board, I had my bracket, and I had Binghamton going. And thank God, they were the only thing I was right about the whole playoffs. And hey, you know what? Congrats to them. They did what champions do, man. They closed it out at home. And man, what a way to clinch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just showed why they are who they are, right? Like when things come down to the wire. I mean, I think we used the term stepping on the opponent's neck in a previous episode. I mean, that's really when it came down to it, they were just you could just see how seasoned they are, how experienced they are, how just execution was there, consistency was there. It's why they are who they are. I mean, we started off this podcast with the summer series. Binghamton was the first team on the podcast. They're going to be the last one off the podcast. And, everybody throughout the whole summer series was saying, hey, we got to build a team to beat Binghamton. And I mean, it's almost like we didn't need to play the season, but we're kind of right where we started, full circle.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying all these weeks, it's like no matter how much, sometimes when things happen in real time, you want to waffle your picks around it. But I've always kept saying the experience, the comfort level these guys have together. A lot of them been together forever. They just know how to win, man, and they really, we hold them to such a standard that when they have an off night, right? That it's almost like, oh my God, are they going to choke? Are they going to, oh my God, and then they just show, like the last two games, they just show who they are, and that's who they are. And it's just so funny when you're that good, the standard you have for them, they have an off night, an off period. All of a sudden you're like, oh my God, are they going to blow this thing? You know what I mean? But they handled business. They deserve all the credit in the world.
Yeah, really impressive. And I'll tell you what, PD, again, taking nothing away from PD, what they did was nothing short of, incredible. And, I really think, to me, the other team that really stuck out was Port Huron. Those three, Binghamton, PD, Port Huron, I thought, were really, really strong this playoffs. Obviously we've talked about the last couple of weeks with PD and the upsets that they've pulled, especially that first round against Athens, which I don't think anybody would have predicted that. I think there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily shocked that they won, but to do it the way they did and, just take care of business and take care of it so quick. That was the big surprise to me of this postseason. But those three teams I thought really, really, really cool. It'd almost be cool to see like a tournament style finish with
Yeah.
those three teams. That'd be kind of cool too.
Well, I mean, listen, it's great for the league. Like I said, the teams that have performing all season, they were there at the end. You know what I mean? It's as a fan, I love the format. As a fan, I love 3-game, 5-game series. Little stressful when you're involved with it, but yeah, you can't take anything away from PD. They have something special down there, and they're going to be a force going forward. So it's going to be very interesting how the offseason plays out going into opening night next season. Season just flew by. I can't even believe we're going to, before we know it, we'll be going into opening night. So it's going to be amazing to see how the offseason plays out and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And like another thing that we've been talking about the show, and it's in the intro, is like how quickly the league is expanding. And, I said in one of the first episodes like that, hey, I wouldn't be surprised to, see this league go coast to coast one day. I didn't think it was going to be this quick, but next year will be coast to coast. So it's the storyline that we started off with this show is kind of, it's the same way we're finishing, which, I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, like the league's doing really, really cool things. Commissioner Don Kernan said during the final game in Binghamton last week that the league has broken 1 million fans through the gates this year, which is really incredible. I know that was a goal and a projection which has been met. And yeah, I mean, the league's just really, really pushing the pace, not without some stumbling along the way. Anytime you're trying new things and doing them this quickly, right? There's, anytime you're just running forward, it's, you're going to have to deal with some stuff along the way, and it's all how you handle it. I mean, the league's stronger than ever right now.
Yeah. No, you see it. I mean, I've only been involved a short time, but you can just kind of see the direction. And like I said, it's going to be an interesting offseason. You hear some of the headlines, but you don't know what goes into everything. So it's going to be interesting the next few weeks, kind of where the league is going to situate things. And yeah, it's growing, and it's just good for hockey, and it's good for the league, and we'll see how everything shakes out.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be, now it's like, hey, do we see our first four-peat as four? I guess that would be the way you say it. I don't know if anyone's ever really had to say it before. At least not often, but I guess a lot of the goals for organizations stay the same. It's going to be, a different dynamic now with the, West Coast. But that, I wonder if we're going to get the talk of, again, kind of the storyline staying the same. Got to build a team to beat Binghamton. And will we see a four-peat? I know you have other plans. I know that this, Binghamton's three-peat was the first step in your three-peat.
So yeah, man. I mean, listen, they have their three-peat. That's great. Happy for them. But now the hard work starts for myself personally, and our hockey ops here in Danbury, and yeah, they're the team to beat. They're the measuring stick, and I think we feel very confident going into next year that we have a formula. Whether it works out or not, I don't know. It's all building it's like a recipe. You tinker with the ingredients, but we feel beyond confident going into next year, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of fun, and I love it. I love the fact they're in our division. I want to beat the best. We don't want an easy way to it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But again, Binghamton's used to it. They've been doing it the past few years. They are, they're the ones people are hunting for. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, absolutely. What, any other surprises on your end for the playoffs? Like, for me, the surprise was the PD Athens series. Again, just looking back at just such great playoffs all around. I mean, the Blue Ridge Port Huron series was awesome. I mean, it was really an incredible playoffs. One of the best that I could remember, even outside the FPHL.
Well, listen, I mean, to be honest with you, we've been talking about it, and it's kind of like oxymoronic, but Columbus surprised me. I just didn't think great team. That division is crazy, man. It's like a camouflage. You can have an amazing team, and it kind of just gets lost in the mix. They're not flashy. They just get it done. I really thought Monroe was going to go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, we forget about that Monroe, got knocked out early.
Yeah, so I was a little surprised at that. But yeah, I mean, I guess, and it sounds crazy because they're so good, but just PD, man. It's like getting through Athens, I thought was going to be one of those things that was such a major accomplishment that it was going to take all the air out of their tires, and that's kind of where they were going to peak. But they handled business, beat another model franchise in this league in Columbus, and beat Binghamton elite. They beat Binghamton once in the finals, right? So I mean, it's like they really. It's so weird, like you said, man, because it's like it's not a surprise, but it was. It was a crazy postseason.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Bingo got it done, kind of like I anticipated, and it's that experience and that comfort level they have with each other. Great coach, great franchise, and congrats to them.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy you brought that up with Monroe, because again, like that's something that I think, there's just been so many other crazy things that have happened, like, really cool, things that have happened in this playoffs that we forget about that. Yeah, like Monroe, like they were a powerhouse. I mean, they were off to like what, almost a 20 game. Did they hit 20 game win streak in season? Right. And then
it was something crazy. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like there's, like there's some very good teams in this league that, we're out, but yeah, like just nuts. And again, just like Athens. I mean, it'd be interesting to see, you think about what series could have been, not saying we would have gotten any different of an outcome, but like, Binghamton, Athens could be fun. It all could have been fun. Binghamton, again, we talk about that Continental Division, how consistent or just that pod there. I mean, any one of those series would have been a blast. And you could say the same thing for Port Huron. Like there were some really, really good teams.
From a fan perspective, Port is a fun team to watch. They're scrappy. They could turn it up as well offensively. They arguably had, I mean, my God, think about the goaltending in this league. I mean, you had Cooper, Dominic Tomei. I mean, you have some amazing goaltenders in this league. And you look at a Port Huron and it's like, damn, man, they're a fun team from a fan perspective. They're a lot of fun to watch. Reggie Millette, they had those D1 guys at the end of the year. Very fun, very fast, scrappy. So, they got a nice little core. This is the fun part. Well, for a fan, I mean, I don't know if it's even fun for a fan. It's like there's so much uncertainty going into an offseason. Who's going to move up, leagues, who's going to stay. It's a lot of tough decisions. And this is where, this is the stressful time. In the offseason is where you try to make it all work.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, a lot of work behind the scenes now. Getting ready for the next season. But AJ, anything you want to end off with? I appreciate you doing the whole playoff series here. It's been I know we had a lot of fun. So I appreciate it a lot. Anything that you want to end off with?
No, I appreciate you. I love being part of this league. I'm excited to keep this thing rolling. And just about 52 weeks from now, we'll be talking about a Danbury title. And it'll be a lot of fun. So bookmark this page, because in about 51, 52 weeks, we'll be having a different conversation.
I love it. All right, dude. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Same here. What's going on, Brent? Welcome back to the podcast. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Yeah, awesome. We got the job done. It's becoming an annual thing over here in Binghamton.
I know. I was telling AJ, I feel like we almost didn't need to play the season. Like we're right back to where we started. So the beginning of the podcast in the summer series, right? You're the first team on. Now you're the last man standing. And everybody all summer was like, oh, we got to build a team to beat Binghamton. That's what it's about. Got to beat Binghamton. And here we are. Not much has changed.
Nope. I'm just happy that, these guys listen to me and they keep pushing each and every year. It's pretty impressive, and it goes to show you what kind of, leadership and that core that's been coming back every 3 years has been leading the way. So it's yeah, it's been quite the pleasure to work in this organization, work with these guys.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned leadership. You got coach of the year. So congratulations on that too. And that's another thing. Everybody was complimenting you all summer long, saying how great of a coach you are. You get coach of the year. Again, it's like we're in the same spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, it's about time, No, it's it's an honor, and I was very pleased. And you don't care as much about the individual accolades, but that one felt good, and that's a big help to my associate head coach, John Quinville. He's been such a great influence on me, and his habits and details that he's brought from the National Hockey League and places he's played over in Europe have propelled this team quite a bit. And I think he was a major difference, because this year was definitely harder winning the whole thing.
Yeah. How did this year compare to previous years? Like, what was the difference this year?
I think there was a little bit more adversity. I think there was more parity in the league. We ran into a tough team in the second round with Port Huron, and then, facing a completely different team in PD, not as physical, but great transition game, very opportunistic. They had this flick and chase style that we needed to make adjustments on, and yeah, it was a little bit more difficult, I wouldn't say stressful, but a little bit more competitive. It was a fun playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that AJ and I have been talking about was just like even the mindset leading up to this. Was there any added pressure or any distraction with the whole three-peat? Right? Like we've been talking about that, where it's like, all right, we got it. Like they got to stay focused on winning the championship, not focused on, hey, the three-peat, because you don't get anything for the three-peat. It's, the two go hand in hand. But I could see how players and, teams could put that added pressure that like, hey, we've also got this other thing off to the side here that it could be a three-peat. Was there any bit of that or any, effort to consciously just kind of block that piece out of it?
Yeah, I think from the coaching side, yes, but I'm sure these players put a lot of pressure on themselves to get that job done. But overall, I think just making it to the finals is what you go out to do. You want to get to the dance, and whatever it takes to get there. But once you get there, I think that you kind of relieved from the pressure. It's like, oh, we're here. Let's just get it done. Stay in the moment and be focused. So yeah, I think I think the second year had a little bit more pressure, because you just say back to back more three-peats. Like we didn't really focus on that. We were just day by day team, focused on the process, stay in the moment, one shift at a time, 5 minutes at a time, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like walking through the playoffs, was it a big, I'm assuming it was a relatively, I don't want to say shock, but when PD beat Athens, what was the reaction like there? Because obviously I'm assuming you guys are paying attention to what the other division's doing, what potential matchups could look like. Obviously got to stay, in the moment and focus on your own matchups first to get to the dance, like you said. But like, what was like, in terms of like your guys' reaction or your guys' prep or planning, did that kind of throw a wrench in things? Like, were you guys, I'm assuming most people were expecting Athens to come out of that series.
I expected 3 games at least, and I didn't expect quite the blowout that we saw down there. But when we got to play both Athens and PD, and Athens took it to us the first night, and then we kind of returned the favor the next night.
Yeah.
But when PD came up here in January, and I think I've been on here and saying they're a really good team. They're underrated. I wouldn't sleep on those guys. So I wasn't necessarily surprised that they won the series, but I was surprised by the scores. That's
the
sure.
fashion that they did it in.
Yeah, big time. The fact that they put up that amount of goals like each and every night. I think Letkov had 16 points or something after the first round. So I was a little. I think Athens is a little passive, especially in their D zone, and with the speed and skating ability that some of the players have on PD. you got to end plays early, and you got to be aggressive with them, and you got to stay on top of them. And that was one of the little adjustments that we made when we faced them in the finals.
Yeah, and is that the whole playoffs were awesome, right? And that's like one thing we spoke about was that the playoffs were so like a little bit of predictable, but unpredictable, but entertaining the entire time, right? Like obviously you guys being the favorite, right? Everybody expected you guys, you guys were the favorite from, like we said, day one on the podcast. You guys have been the favorite by everybody. But you guys still had a tough road, right? Like it was no cakewalk, especially that Port Huron series. And the Continental Division was almost flipped upside down. Like again, like to your point, yeah, like I agree with you. You can't sleep on PD. And I've been saying the last few weeks, like that, hey, it's, maybe like it's just their true colors kind of showing through now. Like I think everybody's more seeing them for what they are. I think they've been this team for a while. But I think if you would have said that by the second round of playoffs, there was no chance that Athens or Monroe would be coming out of the Continental, I think most people would have said, hey, you're crazy.
Yeah, I think you're totally correct with that statement. You look at roster to roster, like with those teams down there, Monroe and Athens, they probably one of those teams should have been competing for a final, and they get the short end of the stick, and that's the way playoffs goes. It's unpredictable. You got to be able to, bounce back pretty quickly and flush a loss and get over it and move on and make the necessary adjustments that your team needs to make, and kind of look yourself in the mirror and step up to the task. Yeah, Port Huron, that was a pretty grueling series. It was a heavy physical series.
Yeah.
And Reed Cooper did an amazing job. But getting that first game up there on Thursday or whatever, that was absolutely huge. Mac Jansen, really stepped up in that series. I think he scored 75% of our goals. It wasn't a high scoring series for us, and our goalie Dominic Tomei stood on his head, getting a 1-0 victory on the road, and then came back to our own barn and kind of got it handed to us, and we regrouped really well the next day and really bounced back.
Yeah. That's like that series too is unbelievable. And I imagine somewhat of one of the bigger moments in the playoff run for you guys. Obviously, the playoffs in this league, they're quick, they're short, every moment's huge. But I think that in my opinion, like that series was I don't want to say a pivotal moment, but it was a big one.
It was so much fun. Some ups and downs, and then guys just pulling up their pants and going to work. That Sunday game, I don't think it was as close as what the score said. Like when we come to play, you can kind of know in the first five minutes, you can know in the first period that the ice is tilted. It's like 20 shots to 5 shots, and I'm happy with our game, even if we're going down into the second period or tied or whatever, because it's eventually going to come. And whether the floodgates open or you kind of just lock it down and you have the puck the entire time, and you're just kind of playing keep away in their D zone. It's you can really tell when that effort's there and when our boys are going, and sometimes it's not there, and that's my job to make sure they're ready to go, whether it's adjustment in between periods or the next day.
Yeah, because I obviously remember that. Like there's Reed Cooper really did a great job. Like I remember it was probably what was it? Was it tied going into the second, or you guys were up by 1 going into the second? But shots were very, very lopsided, and
we were going into that third, and then we ended up getting up on the power play, and then Bondarenko had a grade A opportunity, gets tackled in the slot by Matt Graham, their coach, and we end up going on a 5-on-3, and Mac Jansen buries, great little passing sequence, and that's how we got him, and then we didn't give them any life after that. And I know they're pretty upset with the 5-on-3 call, but I think it's pretty suiting for, all the penalties they took all year. I think that was the way they were supposed to go out. is with, penalties.
Yeah. Yeah. They, I know they've been a very, very physical team. I think we touched on that. I want to say it was like the first playoff episode where it was going to be kind of like, okay, I think we were talking about it with Blue Ridge and Port Huron, where, okay, whoever dictates the pace of the series probably has the advantage, in likelihood to come out on top. So
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, ride that line and play with that edge, you got to know how to manage it like to a T. And sometimes you go over and, you're on the kill. And if you don't have, if you're not confident in your kill, or a lot of teams are confident in their 5-on-4, but you got to be confident in your 5-on-3 if you want to take penalties like that late in the game. So,
well, the special teams are so huge this time, especially this time of year, playoffs and everything. And I wanted to ask you, so one thing that I think AJ actually pointed it out, and we've been kind of laughing about it because it's been so true, but kind of laughing about it the last 3 weeks on here, is you guys have an unbelievable ability to score back to back, like a quick burst of 2-3 goals. Is that something? Is there any method behind that madness? And feel free not to share it, or just say, no, I'm not sharing that. But there's been so many times this season where you guys score and then 30 seconds later you score again, or there's a span of 2 minutes where you guys will pump in 3. And it's just been consistently like that all year long.
We just call it bump shifts. So, goal for, goal against, we need to move on quickly. So I have a bunch of like seagulls on the bench going bump, bump, bump shift, and I think it's just registered in the brain that like, hey, we need to take this momentum and run with it, or we need to get the momentum back as quickly as possible. So that's just like, once again, kudos to our leaders, and kind of having that mindset throughout our locker room that like, hey, we're just focused on the next shift and let's keep it going and stay hungry and, have zero complacency in our game after a goal for.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's incredible. Cause I remember it actually may have been the Port Huron series where you guys scored one and got waved off. Forget why. And then literally like 30 seconds later, you guys just put in another one.
Yeah. I think that's just our mindset of being relentless, and, we're here to dominate each and every year. And that kind of trickles into those momentum swings in the game.
Yeah. And the other thing that's been obviously very noticeable, we use the term stepping on the neck, is that, you guys also have the ability to where it's like, hey, when it gets down to brass tacks, you guys stay focused, you stay dialed, and you get it done. And even like you said before, it comes that Sunday morning or Sunday game where you guys just ramp it up, and you guys have a lot of depth, a lot of experience, a lot of know-how, and you're just able to kind of just block everything out. It's like, all right, it's time to just nail this down and get it done. Like, what do you like, just experience years of?
Yeah, I think it's experience. I think it's putting these guys in high pressure situations in practice. I think it's just our natural habits and details. Everyone can say, hey, this is our structure. We're very much a swarm defense, but you can say you're a swarm defense, but if you don't have the details and habits within that, and you don't know the switches and kind of the communications that are necessary to work in that system, then it doesn't mean anything. So
right.
I think our ability to lock it down comes down to our structure, and then the habits within it of, managing a puck, making sure we're taking care of the blue lines. When we're chipping the puck, are we chipping it off the yellow, or are we chipping it off the white? Are we putting the puck in the ditch where, the goalie can't get it, or questions that come out of the net? And if we're doing a hard rim, are we making sure it's all the way around? And it kind of sounds like common sense, but sometimes when, players are dumping pucks, they're not, doing it with
heat of the moment, the discipline to do it. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I think it all just comes about in the playoffs. Like, even like how you reload above the puck, how we're backtracking, our tracking rules, like being able to sort out things through the neutral zone that, you know, some teams they might be a little confused on, or they might not, you know, have those details down. It's
Right.
I think it was a huge advantage for us, and the fact that the guys buy into it is it means everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, all the different, layers and details, layers of details and everything. And then, I love that you just said that, getting the guys, as a coach, being able to not only put all this in place to understand it, be able to teach it, but then get the guys to understand it and to buy into it and to effectively communicate it to the guys in a way that they do understand it and can buy into it. I mean, it obviously says a lot about you, and that's why you're coach of the year.
Thanks. It's honestly, it's our leaders doing it, and then kind of showing the young dogs, you know, how to do it. And that buy-in is, you know, that's the recipe. If you can get the buy-in where, like, a guy is not thinking about his, you know, toe drag at the blue line, or how am I gonna, you know, make a move or a creative play when there's even numbers off the rush, and they're doing what, you know, Tyson Kirkby's doing, CJ Stubbs is doing, and,
Yeah.
you know, doing a self chip and just kind of putting in a spot where we can get it back because that's what the play calls for at that time. Then, you know, it's going to be hard to beat us when.
Yeah. I love that you just said, oh, sorry, get Brent.
Yeah, no, go.
No, I was just gonna say, I love that you just said all that, because it's like one thing I talk about, like with the junior guys and everything. It's like, hey, have you ever had a coach yell at you because your toe drag at the blue line was no good? Like, no, like that's not what they want. Like there's, so I just love that you went through all of that. My last question for you, or second to last question, but have you started thinking, is 4 Peat in the head at all? Has that started yet? Or
It hasn't. I think that's another thing that's different about this year is we're really trying to enjoy this and cherish, you know, what we've accomplished this year. But for the past 3 years, I kind of been telling the boys we want to enjoy it, and our fans, they were trying to get, like, let's get the quad championships going, or a 4 Peat, or whatever they want to call it. I'm not buying into it. We're with this one, and we'll take care of next year when we need to take care of next year, and just kind of focus on this and make sure our boys get back healthy, and you know, we're heading out in the right way. And this just doesn't happen. Happens like, you know, every couple decades where a team wins 3 in a row. So
yeah,
it's quite special, and I want this to be remembered.
Yeah, for sure. Now, my last question for you. Is there anything you would like to end off with?
It was, I would just like to thank our ownership. They're the best. I'm happy they listen to me and, you know, get the guys what they need as far as, you know, housing, travel, pumping up our locker room, like with our gym, or, you know, making sure that we have all the right nutrients and snacks, everything we need to get the job done, so the boys can just focus on hockey. And then I'd like to thank John Quinville for hopping on board with me this year. He's been tremendous as far as, like, my maturity and my approach to the game, and he's brought a ton of professionalism to our organization. And then lastly, I'd just like to thank our guys. They're the best, and they're the ones that kind of make me look good. So I appreciate everything they've done, and it's been quite the ride. It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Well, Brent, thank you again for doing this. Thank you for everything that you've done on this podcast all year long. Congratulations on Coach of the Year. Congratulations on the championship. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it, and go Black Bears.
Thanks, Brent. All right, let's do our proof of attendance token code for this episode. The proof of attendance token code is Black Bears, 2 words. Enter the code at swanhockey.io on the podcast page, and you will be able to receive your proof of attendance token for watching this episode. Codes must be entered by 9 p.m. Eastern, the night that this show airs, Wednesday night. Collect 5 or more of these tokens and you will have access to the member-only channel inside Club Fed in the Swan Hockey Discord server. You can join the Discord server from the link in the description of this episode. And that's going to do it for this podcast. It's been an absolute blast and pleasure going through this all season long with you guys. Thank you. There are a couple things in the works that could be coming soon. You can stay tuned and reach out via swanhockey.com. And yeah, thank you, everyone. And until next time, I will see you guys soon.
Thank you for being the best part of this episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass by Swan Hockey. We will see you soon.